Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Konquer Fit Podcast. I am Chad Crouch, your host. This is my co-host, Jeff Brandt. As you guys can tell, we are on location today. So, Jeff, where are we at today?
I think you're calling this Konquer Fit 2.0?
I think we're going to go with the 2.0, my man. No, we wanted to get back on and just kind of talk with you guys a little bit. I know we've kind of been MIA. There's been lots of things going on.
A little bit of harassment from a few of the followers too. We do appreciate that.
You know, it keeps us on our toes.
Yeah, absolutely, man.
So we're here at the secondary location of Konquer Fit, which is the home gym, which is the home base. Kind of getting some work done tonight. Looking for an April 1st opening date on this location. Just moving from our other location, not doing two locations, because that would be weird because we're like literally half a block away from where we're supposed to be.
and half a city block, right? That's literally
half a city block,
right across the block.
So, when we talked to you guys last, we talked about traveling a little bit.
Yep.
And Jeff, you're getting ready to take off tomorrow.
Tomorrow, yeah. We're going to head on down to Gulf Shores and be down there for a week. Much needed.
Much needed. So, Jeff, you going to work out while you're there?
I am.
Good. What are you going to do?
So I actually going to talk to you about this. I'm going to put Chad on the spot here for the rest of the members.
Bitch.
Right? So I actually went through my insurance and I was able to do called Fit Your Way. Right?
Okay.
And so it's a nationwide program. And so now for my wife and I, it's $40 a month for both of us.
Yeah.
It gives me access to 12,000 gyms across the country.
Sick, dude.
Yeah, so there's 3 gyms down on the Gulf Strip that I can work out at. Show them my little app.
Yep.
I'm good to go, right? So
cool. So you found a gym there that you're going to go to.
And, not that I don't have all the faith in the world for Konquer Fit because I'm putting my hours here because I want to see you succeed, right?
Absolutely. Always appreciate it.
But I could actually go to other gyms in the area with that membership
and poach members. I'm just kidding. Maybe.
I mean, that's kind of the idea, right? Like show up my Konquer Fit gear.
So in other words, I need to at some point get you a Konquer Fit sweatsuit.
Yeah, we can do that.
I'm not mad at this, actually.
I was gonna do the lower tramp stamp, but no. So I thought that was actually really cool.
Yeah,
I didn't even know about it. It's one of those things that my insurance doesn't advertise it. I was just out there looking to see how much I had spent this year already on medical bills.
Yep.
And I just came across it. I'm like, dude, this is awesome. Like,
yeah, no, that's legit, man. I mean, it kind of prevents you from having to have to do extra research that might be tedious and that makes you stay away from the gym while you're traveling.
Well, and for me, and I'm not gonna shit talk the other gyms in this area, but there's a gym that my wife still works out at.
Yeah.
That her membership alone is $75, right?
Yeah.
And so now, until she's able to transfer over to Konquer Fit, and that will be something that we can talk about at some point.
Yep.
It's only going to cost me $40 and not $75. So I'm like,
and you don't have to deal with idiots.
This is a win-win for me, right? And I get to hopefully April 1st cancel. She's going to cancel her membership, and she'll be working out here as well, right?
Yeah.
So
no, absolutely. So, a lot of movement, a lot of change, a lot of things have been going on in both of our lives. The people who know us that are following us know that I've got a lot going on this month.
A lot of stress.
Sometimes you decide to just throw a whole bag of fireworks in your life and let them all explode. I decided that, this was the month to do that. So for those of you that don't know, in 2 weeks here, me and my wife, our house will be done being built, so we're going to move into that on the 22nd. Jeff is knocking on corkboard. I don't know if that's going to work, but we'll figure it out. So we have a close day for that, and then we're moving the gym the following weekend. Next week is spring break, which normally I wouldn't say this because I love my clients, but thank God a lot of my clients are gone because my wife is also out of town for work. So it's going to be a lot more things for me to do and a lot closer to those move dates to get those things done. But I had some really great conversations this week with clients. And I want to kind of touch on stress.
Okay.
Right? Because obviously we led this right into stress.
Yeah.
So, I was talking to a guy this morning, and, when clients come in the gym and I'm noticing something's off, how you look at me, your energy, something is just not what it normally is.
That's not fair, because it's normally you, though. It's like, fuck, I gotta see this guy again to go do this exercise again. But anyways.
I definitely suck. There's no lies about that. But gentleman came in today, and I could just kind of tell something was not firing. Something wasn't clicking. So I said, "Hey man, what's up?" And and he got to talking about how his wife was talking about stressors at work and how that led to him being stressed out because he's tired of hearing it. And so what led that session really was, how do we mediate the outside stress of others as well?
Yeah.
Because I can mediate my own stress, right? I have ways that I do that for myself.
Mm-hmm.
But we've had this conversation. A lot of times I'm the foundation for my family.
Yep.
And that's now extended to my wife as well, but like the foundation of the people around me. So kind of everybody else gets to break, and I never get that opportunity to kind of let the cracks be seen.
Yeah.
And he asked me, how do I mediate that? How do I deal with those outside stressors of, even my day? Because my day, I have 30 people's problems coming my way all day long. So, our training sessions become therapy sessions.
Yep.
Right. And, what I kind of did was, and, you can kind of talk to this, is I just take it as they come. Like, my favorite saying in life is, it is what it is. Because ultimately it is, right? If we talk about, me and you have had these conversations pretty frequently, if we talk about how things are perceived, we have to touch base on one main thing. Things don't happen to you, they happen around you.
Yeah.
And your reaction is 100% your own.
Mm-hmm.
You can agree with that.
100%.
I mean, we've had conversations about the things happening around you.
Yeah.
And we won't dive too far into that, folks, because
we don't have enough time.
We don't have enough
storage on that SD card.
Time to talk about the bodies that could be hidden at some point.
Yeah.
No, but when we're thinking about that, we have to mediate stress in a way that is, we can't just think about it I'm going to just do exercise, my stress is going to go away. Right?
Sometimes it's not possible.
Sometimes not possible.
I'm a great example of that.
Let me get my exercise in and feel good.
Mm-hmm.
Let me put something good in my body to eat. But that's kind of the other flip side of that too. Like, I think about that as like, maybe that's your cheat meal day, man. Do something that makes the brain happy.
Yeah.
Right? That makes your stomach happy.
I think it's crazy that we're even talking about this, because I had in my head, we were texting back and forth earlier, like, hey, let's just see if we can throw something together so these people are off our backs as they're harassing us, right?
Yeah.
Shout out, Steven.
Shout out, Steven.
And I was thinking, like, man, I'm getting ready to go on vacation. You are still working on this gym. You're still training at your other gym, both that you own, right?
Yeah.
And then you are closing on a house. I've got family members that aren't doing great. And then I just got some news back about my back, and it's like, man, how do you manage all this stress? And so this was going to be a topic that I was literally going to bring up, and I didn't even text you that earlier.
We didn't even touch. Guys, we turned the camera on and we just went.
Literally, we were just out there working. Like, hey man, let's take 20 minutes and not look like we're homeless and talk. So
yeah,
that is interesting, because you're right. Like, I look at the last 6 months, and the last 6 months, like, my workout hasn't been my stress reliever, because like normally when I'm working out and it's stressful, I can lift more weight or I'm pushing more. I've got that little bit more drive, but I've been under that restriction, so I couldn't do that, right? So it's like, okay, well, how else do you do that? And sometimes it is like, yeah, it's 8 o'clock at night, but even if I've only got a couple 100 calories to spare, fuck it. I need to get some ice cream. I need to get a cookie.
Go to your happy place.
Or I need to get, a bag of flaming hot Cheetos, whatever it is, right? Like, you can't let that take you down a path of like, oh man, maybe I did do a little cheat meal and now I'm gonna feel guilty about it. Who gives a fuck?
Who cares?
Literally, like, is your physical health is very important. But so is your mental health.
So is your mental health. But I think that's the thing, when you start getting into social media and all these cats are talking about, stay away from this ingredient, it'll kill you.
Don't
give
drink
you cancer.
Fairlife protein milk because I'm an idiot that walks through the grocery store and I know something. You don't at all.
It says protein, protein, protein on it. That's not milk. Yeah, you're right, dude, because it says milkshake on it. It's not milk. But, that's the thing, man. Like, I'll be the first guy to tell you I'm not perfect when it comes to diet, when it comes to working out, obviously working out is
clearly I'm not either, but
stop there. You literally had neck surgery. But it's quite literally, exercise for me is just like it's my non-negotiable. Mm-hmm. It's a thing I do every day, and that doesn't mean I go balls to the wall every day. That means some days are just light knees just because I need to move. Yeah. I need to feel functional. And as far as the eating is concerned, I'm sorry, man, but I'm just not going to live my life in a box. I can only eat chicken and rice for the rest of my life with some vegetables. No, I'm just not going to do it, man. There has to be some aspect of joy in there.
Yeah.
And every once in a while, I'm going to have pizza. Every once in a while, I'm going to have tacos. I'm going to eat a normal thing with my wife, and we're going to enjoy it, right? Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to think twice about it. I'm not going to punish myself and go immediately to that, well, I ate an extra 800 calories today. Now I need to go kill myself tomorrow in the gym. No, I'm not going to do it.
You're not going to burn that 800 calories to begin with, right?
And it's not going to matter, right? It's post what the other day was. It's a new day.
I think that's where people get hung up, though, is that, they have those moments of stressors, right?
Yeah.
That cause these reactions, and then they just let it compound. It's like, who cares? Like, we, in an earlier podcast, we talked about nutrition a little bit. And it's like, we did say, try not to let one bad meal turn into a day of bad meals, turn into a week of bad meals until, and that still should hold true.
That still should hold true. We call it the fuck it mentality, right?
But you still have to live.
You still have to live, and you still have to, you're traveling.
Yeah.
You're driving.
Yep.
Now, are there better options at gas stations and to-go places?
Absolutely.
Sure, 100%. But the whole way you're driving down there with your wife and your 3 kids, are you really going to be in the gas station halfway through your driving going, all right, well, this is 30 grams of protein, and no, can't have it. Let's move on. I think I'm going to just get these 4 hot dogs off the hot dog rail, and I'll be good there. And it's like,
maybe not 4.
Maybe not 4, but you know what I mean? You can easily go down that pathway, right?
And we're those typical Midwestern family, right? So we are driving, and it's 14 hours. So, we're going to stop every couple hundred miles, hopefully like every 400 miles, but we'll see. 3 daughters and a wife.
Yeah, but there's going to be a lot of peeing.
Yeah. We've already actually went grocery shopping for the trip down and the trip back.
Okay. Right. And what did you pick up then?
So I went with a lot of high protein snacks. So I got Legendary chips.
Perfect.
Right? So Legendary chips, high protein, still decent amount of carbs in it.
Yep.
But like it's a rice pop chip, right?
But again, you need the carbs, right?
I need the carbs, and it's going to give me that sensation like, hey, it's a chip.
It's a chip.
Right? And then, of course, a couple protein bars that I really have been enjoying lately.
Yep.
And some low-fat beef jerky.
Okay.
I really like the No Man's Land brand. That is actually really low fat. So like an entire bag is, if you buy the 10-ounce bag, it's 360 calories. I'm sorry, it's 270 calories for the 3-ounce bag, and it's 5 grams of total fat.
That's not bad though.
So, and like it's a lot of protein.
Yeah.
So that's what I've got for myself, and of course, the girls have their snacks, but we're trying to help them with that as well. Like, hey, I want to buy this bag of Cheetos from Costco. How about I'll buy you a little bag of Cheetos from Costco that we're not eating a pound and a half of Cheetos fucking there and back, right?
Right.
So,
and never mind, it was like fully carb load, just piles their sugar, and then they're just going wild, and you're in a car for 14 hours.
So yeah, I mean that's what we went grocery shopping last night and said, hey, this is what you girls can pick for the drive down there, right? Yeah. Of course, there's going to be a couple of those like, yeah, can I get some Gushers? Or Dad, can I get,
Absolutely.
Yeah, if you're going to be quiet for the next 14 hours, sure. But I can't let you eat like an asshole the entire time.
No. And I mean, but that's the thing, this vacation for you, and we're gonna circle this back around. This vacation for you is stress relief.
Mm-hmm.
We just had a checkup Tuesday.
Yep.
That was this past Tuesday, correct?
This was 3 days ago.
This was this past Tuesday. plus 2 family members not doing so well.
Correct.
One on your side,
One on Holly's
one
side.
on your wife's side.
Yep.
And to compound that, and dude, I'm very good at knowing when people are off.
Mm-hmm.
I knew you were off immediately on Tuesday.
Yeah, dude, I was pissed.
And I'm like, I'm not gonna poke the bear. I'm gonna just let my man ride it out and do his thing.
I was just angry so everybody knows, 6 months ago I had a failure of my disc between my C4 and C5 vertebrae. They went in, they did a discectomy, not a disc replacement, or I'm sorry,
disc replacement, not a
fusion.
Yep.
So they did the replacement, not a fusion. And everything had been going great. And then over probably the last 3 weeks, I've just been in some irregular pain that I haven't felt.
Yep.
And I haven't been pushing myself in the gym. I actually have been trying to listen to the doctor, trying
You've
to
been pulling back.
Yep.
Yep.
And then so X-ray MRI showed that I actually fractured my C5 where the metal plate goes in for the porcelain. I think it's porcelain, or maybe it's ceramic. It's one of those two.
I think it's ceramic is what we talked about.
Sorry. So I was given the all clear. Dude, you can go ham in the gym.
You could do whatever you want.
At your own risk.
Yeah.
We need to go in and we need to fix it at some point. So it is going to require another surgery. So really it's at your own risk and it's at your pain tolerance. So
yeah,
I spent Tuesday just being grumpy, and like that was the ultimate stress that I had. And I went home Tuesday night, and I can tell you, we went to a place locally called Everbowl. It's better than ice cream, but it's still, it could be as bad as ice cream depending on how you build your bowl. But at 36 grams of protein in it, so I felt a little good about it. But
and I mean, it's sugary and high calorie, and
but I needed that because I had to just do like that reset, right? And then finally, Holly and I were able to talk on Tuesday night, and she's like, "So what are you gonna do?" I'm like, "Well, I'm not having surgery right now, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can manage the pain." And I can tell you, on Wednesday, I did a back and bicep workout, and I probably went heavier than I won't say should have, but I definitely went heavier than what I've been doing for 6 months.
Yeah.
Right. And doing some face pulls, and getting more blood to the back, especially like the back of the neck, right above the traps. I can tell you, I felt pretty good. Right?
That's awesome, man.
So like now I was sore yesterday, right? Which
one day after,
but I can tell you, Wednesday night I felt great, right? Like, so I'm just going to continue to work on it, right? And I figure I need to get back on a program and just need to do that.
And we need to moderate it, right? We need to have a plan of attack.
Yeah.
And approach it in a way that is fruitful to building back the muscle that we've lost. Because, I mean, let's face it, we've lost some muscle. There's been a decline of activity.
Yeah, I mean, the scale hasn't changed, right?
Nope.
So that's the most exciting part, is that the scale hasn't changed.
Right.
But physically, you can see like there's difference. Even like when I'm looking in the mirror, I'm like, man, I've got no muscle in my right arm. It looks terrible.
Well, and folks, to coin that in for you, he also lost a lot of feeling in his arms.
I still have nothing.
Still can't feel anything in the arm. So when he says he's not seeing any muscle, it's also he can't feel the arm either. He can't feel it flex. He can't feel it.
There's nothing.
Hot, cold, pain, nothing. So
yeah, like you even tried to ask me on Tuesday like a couple of things, and I was like, no, I'm not ready to talk about it because I was just in that mindset. So
and you told me that.
Yeah, and I appreciate which
is a great stress boundary.
Yep.
You set your boundary, and I let it go.
Yeah, and I appreciate that because my lovely wife, she's like, well, let's talk about it. I'm like, I don't want to talk about it.
I don't want to talk about it.
Once I got, a little bit of a cheat meal in my stomach, I said, all right, let's talk about it, right? Like,
right. I got a little happiness in my belly. Let's talk about it.
So, I mean, that's how I dealt with that. And now, this is what we would call post-clarity, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like, well, my options are to go do surgery right away, or I can live with it and I can try to build everything else around it better.
Yeah.
Right.
And let's face it, he did say that was your decision.
Yep.
And and even his recommendation was let's not do it right now.
Yeah, he was not pushing it. Right?
Yeah, he's like, if you're not in a ton of pain, let's just manage it.
Yeah, I mean, and with my lifestyle of my freaking 9 to 5, I sit down all the time, right? So like that contributes to a little bit of the nerve pain I've been feeling. But when I'm up and moving, I'm fine.
Yeah.
So
and we talked about it working in the gym.
The plan for now is we're just going to keep moving forward, and I'm not going to be an asshole and try to go bench as much as possible, squat as much as possible, deadlift as much as possible. It's going to still be working back in moderation and making sure that I'm not, this same path here next year.
And if we had to say it, I think you've made strides in your form.
Yeah.
I think you've made strides in this lightweight, finding more control.
Lightweight, baby.
And finding a way to go, okay, I can actually make lightweight hard if I actually squeeze it a little harder and I focus on time.
Yeah.
Right. And so I think, obviously we've touched on exercise is obviously a stress reliever, or it can be. Now, as we go further, and I've kind of pulled you into this realm a little bit too. I bought a PlayStation 5 and I probably haven't bought a new system in 10, 15 years.
Your last one was a PS2.
It was a PS3, first of all.
Was it the big PS3 or the small?
It was the small one.
Okay, so yeah, maybe it's been about 10, 15 years.
And actually, no, it's no longer than that because I've had that since I had my other house and I lived there for 9 years. So it's been a while.
It's been a minute.
It's been a minute. But
he had to put the Atari away.
I had to put the Pong away. So, but I kind of pulled you in the world because my buddy was like, hey, man, why don't you jump on Fortnite? Yeah. And I'm like, I don't know what the fuck that is. Like, what are we doing here? Mm-hmm. And so I first get on. I don't know how to do anything on there. I'm like, dude, you got to pay to play this. He's like, nah, man, Fortnite's free.
That's how I was when you told me to play.
Okay, let's jump on. So then I kind of pulled you in. I pulled some other people in. But that for me is a stress reliever.
Yeah.
And here's why. It's because it's mindless. It's not because I want to go spend 6 hours playing video games and sit on my ass. Mm-hmm. I go and I play a few rounds. And it's mindless. I don't think about anything. I don't think about building the gym. I don't think about the house. I don't think about all the stress. I literally just diffuse and go in and kill 99 people and try to get first place. And I'm probably getting beat by 12-year-olds, let's face it. But no, that's another way to mediate, right?
Yeah.
Doing something mindless that you enjoy. It's why I like movies so much. It's why I like the comic book world and the anime world so much because it's an escape from reality. It always cracks me up, man, when somebody's like, I'll be like, oh man, did you see the new Fast and Furious? And their first thing is, nah, man, it's not very realistic. Well, I don't just see movies because they're realistic, dude. I want to see a giant dinosaur fight a giant gorilla.
Yeah, I'm not watching a documentary,
Like, yes, the iguana fighting the silverback gorilla. Well, this is going to end poorly. No, this is going, nah, man, I want to see stuff that's not real, that takes me out of myself.
I'm there for action.
I'm there for something different, man. Even if it's,
give me out of reality. Let me be able to just set myself over there and just immerse myself. Right?
And even diving into, I don't know if you've seen it yet, but Oppenheimer. Mm-hmm. Dude, it's a 3-hour movie that has no action in it. It literally holds your attention.
Yeah.
It's amazing. Like, that's why I like movies, and that's why I'm a movie, TV kind of person. That's my diffusion. Mm-hmm. And, even my wife kind of makes fun of me because I'm always on my phone when I watch TV. And it's been that way for 20 years. It's how I watch TV.
Yeah.
And I can tell you every single thing that's happening. Because my wife will call me on it every time. She'll be like, you're not even paying attention. Yes, I am. Okay, what just happened? Okay, well, Mike just told Harvey that they're going to go for this case. And she'll be like, how? Because this is how I watch.
That's how I operate.
Now, not to throw my wife under the bus, but I've done the same thing back towards her when she's on her phone and watching TV. And she's like, Mike,
what movie are you watching?
She said, I don't know, okay? I don't know. But I'm like, yeah, because you weren't paying attention.
Mind your business, okay?
Mind your business. Yeah, that's what, if you're not married out there or, in a serious relationship, that's generally what you have that counter person for to tell you that you're being a dumbass.
Yeah.
And like, you know what? Mind your business and get a pillow over your face later, okay?
Yeah, I mean, getting back to the topic though, with stress relievers, you have to find something that does it for you. And you're talking movies, and we can always say the gym, but there's got to be something besides that, right?
There's got to be something else.
And so, like, I've got motorcycles, camping, things like that.
Mechanic.
I love to work on cars, right? So I just think we as a society start to struggle when people don't do something with it.
Yeah.
So now you just let it build, and you let it build, and you let it build. And you've told me personally about, some of your family members with the whole political climate, right?
Yeah.
Have made themselves physically sick because of this person or that person. And we're not...
and screaming at the TV.
Yeah. And Chad and I, we're good friends. We don't sit there and argue about political, who we love and who we hate, because we both have a similar attitude, right? Like, we don't have enough zeros behind that first number in our bank account for it to matter. But
and we kind of have a base understanding of how the government actually works anyway.
Yeah. If you don't do something with the stresses in your life, like, it's just going to physically make you sick, and it's going to lead to other diseases that could potentially happen to you, whether that's, heart disease, or I shouldn't say disease, but a heart attack, right?
Yeah. I mean, but I don't know if we could label it a disease, but I think, we underplayed that part of it. And that was something that happened to my stepdad. He wanted one side to win more than the other. And I mean, he's literally spending his time yelling at the TV, and his vitamin D levels he's under so much stress, his vitamin D levels plummet.
Yeah.
Right. And dude, my stepdad has brown hair like you and I, and in a month it goes stark white and it starts falling out. I mean, his eyebrows fell out. Like, it deterred his health. It took him down a pathway. And I mean, we're talking, being on 100,000 IU vitamin D every week just to try and tip the scale back towards health.
And it all started with stress.
And it started with stress. And he was self-imposing that stress. My mom, dude, my mom has had an anxiety attack so bad that she couldn't leave the house for 3 months. She couldn't even get out of a chair because she let the stress pile.
Mm-hmm.
And it's proverbially, it's the straw that broke the camel's back, right? And psychologically, her body was telling her, no, dude, you got to shut down. We're done. We got no more left to give. And that's what I don't want to see anybody else have happen to them. Mm-hmm. And I talk to many of my clients, and I see where their stress levels are at. And you've been around when this happens. And sometimes, we might not do a full workout.
Yeah.
We might just dial back and be like, I feel like you just need to vent.
Yep.
Let's do that, right? Get your mind right for the next thing. And, and again, that could be food. That could be going out with your friends. It's whatever is conducive to your mental, physical health, right? And that could be anything. For me, I have my things. For you, you have your things.
Yep.
There's some people that I just don't think they know what their things are. And so it culminates and it stews, and it gets to be this ugly thing. And then their health goes, crash out.
And I think people, they tend to also have excuses when it comes to some of those things. They're like, well, it costs money to do this, or it costs money to do that. It didn't cost me any money to just go outside.
No.
Right? Like, no, that's not.
Go get some vitamin D.
Yeah. That's not everybody's stress reliever. You and I have talked. You don't want anything to do with camping, right? You're born and bred city boy, which is fine.
I do not even want to touch it with a 10-foot pole.
It's not for you. But if you were feeling down and you just went outside and you just went for a walk with some decent sunlight, like, you're going to feel a little bit better.
Yeah, right? And I've done that.
Your stress relief doesn't have to be something that costs you money.
Nope. Right? It can definitely
right now
ease.
One of your biggest stressors that you have is finances, right?
Oh, for sure.
Because
for sure,
you're closing on a house. You just got this great big new space, right? So like, now you're trying to be 10 steps ahead of where you're at right now.
Definitely.
Right. And like, maybe not all the other clients see it, but you and I talk about it. So it's like, I got to do this. I got to do that. I got to do this. I'm like, yeah, you also got to breathe too.
Yeah.
Right? Like, you got to realize
I need to know that sometimes.
You got to realize that you're in it. Right. So like, knowing you over the past 3 to 4 years, like, you're going to succeed. It's just that you have this in your mind right now. Like, I have to succeed right now. It's like, well, you're going to, right? Like, yeah, there's no doubt. And if you just made the comment to someone that showed up earlier, like, this space is way further along than what the other space was, right? So you think about the amount of work that you put into this place, like, just gotta breathe, man. It's going to work out. There's enough people in the corner that are like, we want to see this succeed. Mostly we want to shower. But yeah, so like,
but that's where I'm at with it. I mean, yes, it's. If I'd be lying if I said I wasn't stressed. Yeah, it's a big investment, right? It's if we have to be 100% transparent here, which I always am with everybody, I'm not even out of contract on my other building, so I'm paying 2 rents essentially until either one is leased or the lease is paid off. So, coming to a head of where those finances are going to come from. And I just want a bigger facility to help more people.
And I mean, that right there is a statement of your character, right? Like you could say, I want a bigger facility because then I can make this into, something that brings in more revenue, right?
Yeah.
But the fact that as we're just spitballing, there is no script for this. You're talking about, I want a bigger facility so I can help more people, right?
I want more people.
Like the money will come with what you're going to do because of how you do your type of fitness.
Yeah.
And we talked about this. It's not anything special. You just really make people focus on the little things.
Yeah. I mean, I don't believe in the proverbial swiping the rug from somebody. If I changed everything for you right now, you're going to be very miserable and it's not going to last.
Yeah.
And that's what I see as the problem in the fitness industry. We're not attacking the right things, and we're coming up with these antiquated rules and absurd rules, honestly, about food. And, I would never tell somebody who's on a budget not to eat something or drink something because of all the ingredients in it. That is absolutely stupid.
Yeah.
Everything is about dosage. I'm causing more stress. Oh, well, I got to go buy this $39 yogurt.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, no, you don't. Everything is dosage, and anybody who understands base level science knows that.
Mm-hmm.
And you have to understand that, we can get into conspiracy theories and all this kind of stuff. And as I told you, I'd rather be happily oblivious.
You put a whiteboard up there. We can start marking things out.
We can get some string. But I would rather be happily oblivious than have to try and come up with every single conspiracy theory that is ever going to exist about what people are or are not doing.
Man, I don't have no time in my day.
I don't have enough time, man.
I got to raise these 3 girls to be hopefully upstanding citizens, right? And make my wife happy. And, I don't have to make
And ultimately make yourself happy.
Yeah.
I mean, there has to be boundaries and lines.
I can't worry about what everybody else is thinking, especially in the fitness industry, about, if you drink this type of protein shake or if you eat this, you don't buy this, and you're never going to see the gains you want. Well, fuck me, I guess, right?
And let's face it, half those people that are even talking about any of this stuff are not educated. They don't have any background in whatever they're talking about. They just think they read something that, I literally saw one the other day, dude, and it's funny because the dude reads the sentence over again, and he really doesn't realize what he just read is the opposite of what he's saying.
Yeah.
It was something about the metabolic window. You have to eat after a workout or it's absolutely useless. And he's like, this guy called me out, and even reading his article, it's independent of insulin. So that means you can utilize more insulin. Nope. Independent of insulin means insulin's not involved, dude. You just read it twice and you still didn't understand the concept. And so I think that, when you have these people putting out all this information and like, well, what I've been practicing as a weightlifter for the past 30 years, cool, man. That's not a credential. Mm-hmm. It's not, right? And I think there's too much of that. It's widespread in the fitness influencers. And I think ultimately that causes more stress. Because now I got to try to look like you, and you're shredded out, and you're telling me not to eat anything.
Dude, firsthand experience over at your gym, like hearing some of the clients talk about, well, I'm not going to eat this because of this person, or like, if you have too much of this in your system, it could potentially lead to this type of cancer. And it's like, well, hold on. Like, and they would come in like, you could tell that some of the folks, we're not going to drop names, but they were visibly upset about it. You're like, hold on. Like,
wait a minute.
Show me the article. Right? Before I tell you that it's wrong, I at least want to see the article so I can at least point out to you the absolute wrong spots, right? And it's like, you can't, if you worry about those people, they're just going to cause you that much more stress, that much more hurt, right? Like, just don't.
Let's be stress free and just go eat a whole thing of cereal challenge.
And I started a GoFundMe page for that shit right there. Fly out to Vegas. We're gonna walk back, so we only need a one-way ticket.
It's fine. I gotta burn the carbs off.
But that's what I like about these, the Konquer Fit family is that I'm in there working out and I can hear people talking. If I'm over there doing What? No, that's dumb. Hold on.
Wait a minute.
Repeat that.
Give me the article.
Let's go through that, right? So like, and no one takes offense to it. We can sit there and have an educated conversation about it. And sometimes they're not even educational conversations. We're just like, does that really make sense? At that point, we're just, hypothesizing, right? So like, come on,
And pointing out logic at some point.
So that's why I like talking about stress, especially within the gym community and the community that you've established, because people are open to that conversation.
Yes.
Right. And not bashing on the bigger gyms, but like, you don't normally have that.
And it's not touched on.
No.
Right? Like, oh, just come to your workout, man, and eat good. You'll be fine. But will I? Is there something externally that is really, really bothering me that just eating well and exercising is not going to fix?
And at that point, what is even eating well, right? Are you
what is that?
Are you eating to feel well, or are you eating because you're tracking your macros? You're like, all right, yeah, I hit them, blah, 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 right?
Yeah.
But do you need a little extra something? Do you need to take something out? It just depends where you're at. Like I said, if I would have stayed in the journey that I was at on fucking Tuesday, I gotta have been waddling in here, because I was just gonna tear through everything.
For sure. I mean, but again, you got something that puts you in your right headspace, that resets you, and said, "Hey, man, this is the journey. This is my favorite statement. This is what it is.
Now,
let's just go." Right?
All you do is continue to try to build back better. Right? That was the caption you put over the video you took of me squatting the one day. Is just build back better. Yeah, that's all I can do.
Just building back better. And I posted that video, and you didn't know I took that video.
No, I didn't. Not until after you posted it.
You didn't know until after I posted it. I'm sneaky. That's what most of y'all don't realize that come to my gym. I'm sneaky as shit. But I did that because A, I wanted you to know, but B, I wanted everybody else to know that the journey is just that. It's a journey, and you've had a lot of stress on your belt and all these things happening around you that have affected your ability to perform. And dude, that's the best squat I've seen you do.
Yeah.
And for me, as your friend and as your trainer, it just made me happy, because I looked over and I saw you just killing it, dude. And I'm like
a creep in the background.
All right, I'm gonna post that later. He's not gonna know.
I'm glad I had my socks on, people.
I'm glad you at least had your pants on.
Yeah.
But no, it was for me as a trainer, man, that it made me happy to see you, because let's face it, for you it's a lightweight squat, but it was dialed in.
Yeah.
And for me, that was a big moment for you and your journey of building back to a stronger, better you.
Yeah. And, that's one of those things where when I'm in that mood where I feel like I'm just down or I got everything working against me, I can just look at that video and be like, all right, yeah, it was only 65 pounds, but you haven't squatted parallel in, 17 years.
Yeah.
You haven't squatted without pain in 17 years. So it's a win, right?
It's a win. Take the W, man.
Even when I'm sitting around on Tuesday night after I was feeling down, I was just looking through some videos, there's some photos. I'm like, all right, man, it's just a bump in the road. It is what it is. You just need to, once again, try to build it back better.
Build it back better. Start from somewhere and get back to where you were, or at least close to there, and let's make it better this time.
Yeah, I mean, and I'll never get back to, I shouldn't say never, right? It's going to take a while to get back to where I would really want to be at, but if I can just get the strength back, get the definition back, and start feeling better, I'll take it. It's a win for me.
It's a win.
Right?
Absolutely, man. I totally agree. So, man, I think this was a good jump back in. We kind of forced ourselves to jump back into this with both of our schedules being pretty busy here.
Yep.
But guys, we're going to try to keep this consistent and try to keep giving you guys some content on the weekly. Jeff is going out of town this next week. So
next Saturday, we'll be back in the lab.
Potentially, probably not Saturday, because you're getting tattooed, and I'm going to be
closing on the house.
St. Patty's Day thing.
Oh, you're and then wrong. Never mind.
Yeah, I'm gonna be shit faced.
Stress relief.
Alcohol. No. But we're gonna try to keep it consistent for you guys and try to keep giving you some good content weekly. Make sure you guys are liking, subscribing, following, get the message out. Remember, we're just two dudes talking about how to do fitness and mediate fitness for just regular run-of-the-mill people who are not trying to be the best at everything. Okay? I don't want to be the best at exercising. I just want to be the best that I can be every day.
I want to be the best that I can be, right? And
Best that I can
as you
be.
can see, like we link our Instagram pages, but we're not selling you anything, right? So like this is literally just for you guys to come and be like, these two idiots kind of know what they're talking about. Maybe I can ask them this question. Or we're always up for a good old debate too, right? If we said
jump in there. Start a fight.
Start a fight.
I mean, wait, what are we doing?
Yeah.
Choose violence.
If we said something you don't agree with and you have a different approach and you want to go back and forth on it, we're willing to debate you.
Yeah, throw it back at us.
Yep.
So with that, guys, we're going to finish up. We're going to wish Jeff a happy trip. And I'm going to go get some dinner because I'm hungry. And we will see you guys next time. Again, like, subscribe, follow. If you want to follow us on Instagram, both of our handles will be at the bottom.
Yep.
And we'll see you next time, guys. And just remember,
Don't suck.